Today we are going to start about database. In database data engineering, database we can say database is heart of the data engineering course. What is data? Any idea? We can say data means raw facts or unorganized facts. Data means what's raw facts or unorganized facts. Now what is meaning of this one? See here. Suppose I want to collect some facts about student. We can say name of the student, address of the student, age, gender, email. These are what fact about the student. This is nothing but your data. Data means raw facts or unorganized facts. Why we are telling unorganized or raw? See here. Suppose I am writing like this. 20 AVSR 9090 something like this. If you give this 20 out of this 20, can you able to identify what is this 20? Whether this is age or something else? Can you able to identify? That's why it is raw fact, unorganized. From here, we are not able to get anything. From here, we are not able to identify anything. Whether this is the name of the person or address. This is called raw facts. If you are going to process this one, then it will become information. That means raw facts is called data and processed facts on processed fact is called information. What is raw fact means data and processed data means information. Let's say name is raw. Let's say name equals to name equals to Ram, age equals to 20, you can say Ram is eligible for voting. If you tell Ram is eligible for voting, something like this, now we are able to get this information based on what? This data. After processing this data, after applying some logic, we are able to tell this is a RAM is eligible for voting. This type of vote information we can process data, we apply some logic. Out of that, we get some logic or information. Everyone clear after this? Now, in computer, we are going to store the data. That is called data store. Where store the data is data store. There are two different ways to store the data in computer. First one is temporary storage. Next one is permanent storage. Either go for permanent storage or temporary storage. As long as your computer is on, as long as your system is on, data will be there. If you restart your computer, your data will be on. Like we can say RAM is what which type of storage? Temporary storage. RAM is temporary storage. Now in permanent storage we have multiple options. Like if you want to store data permanently, then you can go for file or database. If you want to store permanently, here how many ways to either we can go for file or database. Now if you are going to store data in file, we have multiple problems actually. Disadvantages of disadvantages of file processing system. First one is data redundancy. What is general meaning of this? Duplication. Storing same information in multiple locations is called data redundancy. Suppose think about one banking domain. Try to understand one customer having one account in a bank. For that they are maintaining one account file. Let's say credit, and for loan related things they are, let's say this is a saving account, this is a loan account. One person having two accounts in the bank. Try to understand. One person having two account in the bank. Here we are maintaining, let's say, name of the person, amount, mobile number, address. In saving file you are saving this many information. Let's say name anything. Let's say a amount is 20,000, mobile number, address This person having another loan account, they are also maintaining the same information in the file. Let's say name, amount, mobile number, address. Person name A, amount is 50,000, mobile number, address. In this, which information is repeated? Here, assume name is required to identify one person. Name is required in both the files to identify the person. Assume this is a unique identifier. Apart from that, we are having mobile number and address. These two things are repeating. This one is repeating, this one is repeating. In some cases, we have to repeat. It's not like that we are going to repeat anything. In some cases, we have to repeat some information, required information. In this case, we have mobile number, address, name. These are what repeating. We can say redundancy. This in one source redundancy. Repeating some information in multiple information is called redundancy. Whenever you are using database, in database you have to learn concept normalization. We are reducing the redundancy with the normalization. Normalization is going to remove redundancy. No, it is reduce redundancy. Here, redundancy means repeating certain information in multiple files. In file processing system, we are not going to reduce this normalization. With the database, in database, we can reduce redundancy with the help of normalization. And second problem is what? First problem is data redundancy. What is second problem? Data inconsistency. What is meaning of this? Data redundancy. We get the problem of data inconsistency due to data redundancy. Suppose while paying loan, one customer interested to change the mobile number. Let's say here we updated the mobile number while paying the amount. In file processing system, they are not able to update in the same saving account. In loan, they have updated the mobile number. In saving account, what is mobile number? Let's say 999. For this person, per, for a person A, the mobile number is consistent or inconsistent? Inconsistent. We are getting this problem due to redundancy. Why we are getting this problem? Data redundancy. If you are saying data in multiple place while updating, if you are not doing update in all files, that will come into problem. Inconsistency. While updating data, if you are not updating all place, then you will come into which problem? Inconsistency. Till now we have discussed two things: data redundancy, data inconsistency. Data redundancy means repeating same information in multiple file. Inconsistent means while updating data, we are not updating in multiple place. We are updating few place. By doing that, we are going to which problem? Inconsistency. Okay, what is next problem? Difficulty in accessing data. What is meaning of this? See here, our data is present in file. Let's say this is the name of the person. To access in the file, we have to build some application program. Suppose here we are going to build some program name, amount, address, name, some text field, amount, some text field, address, some text field, then one button. This one is search button. If you want to search data from file efficiently, here what we are taking 3 4 attributes. In the if you want to search data for different condition, we have to build application program. We have to build application program. Let's say data is present in line by line. Now in file processing system there is no restriction. Let's say in another file, let's say in account file, in some other file, data is present in vertical. Let's say a whatever logic here we have written, can we apply same logic here? No. If you fetch the data one row only, are we going to all information, or here we will get only name information? Name information. Data format may be different. Different file data format may be different. Based on that data format, we need to create one separate application. For each application. Do you think this is easy? No, it is not easy. That's why we are telling if data is present in file, accessing will be difficult because for each and every format we have to separate application. That is not easy. Everyone got it? Next one, data integrity. Suppose I want to give some restriction account in saving account. Amount must be minimum amount should be 1000. I want this type of restriction. Minimum amount should be 1000. Now this type of restriction we are not able to give in file processing system. Before that, we are getting difficulty in accessing data in file processing system. How we are going to remove that in database point of view? How we are going to remove this in data point of view? Very very important. How this problem will learn? How this problem will happen in database? Assume this is a database. Here we are not going to access the database directly. What will happen here? Here we have different DBMS softwares. Like in file processing system, try to compare to get the data from filing. We have to create application. We are responsible. Who is responsible for creating application? We are responsible. In file processing system, we are responsible for creating the application. While accessing the database, are you going to create database or are you going to use the database? We are going to use database. That means this application is there. Then while accessing database, we are going to access the application DBMS. They will take care of the application. Like in file processing system, for each and every application, we need to one application. Or do you think here we are going to write the one DBMS? No, it will handle internally all. In file processing system, redundancy problem is there. How to overcome in database with the help of normalization? Okay, redundancy. Due to redundancy, we will come across which problem? Data inconsistency. Third problem is what? Difficulty in accessing data. This problem is in which? In data, in file processing system. We have to write one application for each file. But in DBMS, the DBMS internally handles it internally. We are directly going to use it. What is our fourth problem? Data integrity. I want to maintain minimum amount as 1000. If you are storing the information file information system, we cannot impose this type of restriction. But in database, we are able to achieve it. Suppose I want to maintain 1000 as minimum amount. How to do this concept? We are going to learn that called constraint. We can able to achieve this solution. We can achieve this solution for this data integrity. We can achieve the with the help of constraints. Now next fifth problem, atomicity problem. Okay, what is mean of atom? Smallest particle. It is not possible to divide further. Same thing here. This is related to transaction actually. Collection of operation. Let's say fund transfer. In this fund transfer, how many operations contain? We are going to deduct and we are going to credit in another account. How many operations? Combination of debit plus credit. Let's say you are doing some fund transfer from account 10A100 to B100. Let's say initial amount is 50,000 and 40,000. I want to transfer the amount from this A account to B account. Here I want to transfer, let's say 5,000. Here from source amount deducted 5,000. Now it becomes 45,000. Before performing credit of operation, before updating V100, some problem happen. Assume intern transaction. In this case, what will happen? The amount deducted from what? A100 but not credited to B100. In this case, we are going to lose what? 5,000 from which account? A100. But what is meaning of atomicity? What is the rule of transaction? See here. All operation should perform. All operation should be done or no operation should be done. But partial transaction is not allowed. Partial transaction is not allowed. That means both the credit debit happen successfully, then it is fine. When credit or only debit is, then that means we are not able to divide the transaction. Try to understand. Only credit happen means we are trying to divide them. Two things is there. Only one is happening, dividing. But that is not allowed. In file processing system, we will not able to handle this. But in database, we are able to handle this. We can achieve this. One concept is transaction management. We are going to learn that. Transaction management. How to manage transaction in database. If you are going to use transaction management, what will happen? Let's say amount deducted from A100, it is not credited to B100. Then in that case, we are going to apply some concept rollback. In one A100, the amount will be 50,000 in case of failed transaction. We can achieve this with the help of transaction management rule. We'll learn this. Transaction means collection of operations. In transaction means it should follow atomicity. Either all transaction successfully or no operation should happen. but partial transaction is not allowed. This rule is called atomicity. We are not able to divide. We are not able to divide. Transaction means, let's say, debit and credit. We are not able to divide. Both should attach. Both should happen successfully. What is meaning of transaction? Collection of operations. What is transaction rule? What is atomicity rule? All operations should happen successfully or no operation should happen. But partial transaction is not allowed. We have debit and credit. Here, how many things? Two things. If only one debit is happening, that is called partial, or only credit is happening is called partial. If both are happening, that is complete. In another, till now we have discussed what? Five problem. Indexing. In books also index is there. What is main purpose of index? We can search data quicker. Search data quickly. If you want to search data effectively, quickly, there we are going to use which concept? Index. Indexing problem we can solve in database while using one concept called index. In database, which concept we are using? Indexing. In file processing system, this system is not there. Next one is the last one. Data concurrency. See, concurrency means what? Accessing one thing parallelly or one by one. Parallel. Then what is it called? Concurrency. Concurrency. If you want to access one after another is called, that is called serial. What is the meaning of this? See here, assume in file processing system. Try to understand. Now this one is file account.txt. Here we have some information. Let's say username is A, amount is 9,000, username is address, in database. How data will be stored in tabular format. We are going to see what is data concurrency problem, how it is in the how we can overcome these general questions. A 9,000, let's say Pune. B 8,000, BBSR. In account file, where how many information? Two information. User 1, that is A. User 2, that is B. Let's say user 1 access this information, trying to his information. Meanwhile, user 2 is not able to access his information. That means at a time how many user can access? Only one user. That means concurrencies facility is not there. One after another. That means concurrency is not there. That is called serial. Concurrency is not there. But in database what will happen? User 1 can able to access what? First record. User 2 can able to access second record. They can parallelly able to access their data. The concurrency facility is there or not there? Is there. In whenever some trying to access file, log will be created on top of file. Log will be created on top of file, entire file. That means at a time how many user can able to access the file? Only one user. But in case of database, log will be created on top of row, on top of row, not on table. And two different person can able to access the same data. User 1 is going to access one data. In file processing system, log is created on each entire file. But in table, log will be created on table level or row level. Row level. That's why concurrency is allowed. That's why concurrency is allowed here. We are not able to access same. Otherwise, we can get the problem. Here, at a time, only one row can be accessible to the user. And here, the file is now. Tell me what is disadvantage here. Till now, we have discussed three things. First one is data versus information. What is data? Can you tell quickly? Raw facts are unorganized facts. We are not will not able to identify any business values. What is information? Process data is called information. Next, data store. What is data store? Where we can store our data. It is a place where we can store our data. Data store maintain how many states? Two states. Temporary and permanent. Temporary means what? As long as your system is on, data will be there. As long as your application is run, data is there. Once you stop your application or once you restart your machine, you are going to lose the data. Storage means what? It will be available. If you want to store data temporarily, we have which approach? RAM. And for permanent storage, we have what? Files and database. In next we have discussed what? Disadvantages of file processing system. Disadvantage of file processing system. What is data redundancy? What is data redundancy? Duplication of data. What is second problem? Data inconsistency. Not updating the data in all the files. What is next one? Data difficulty in accessing data. Difficulty in accessing data. Accessing data. For each file, we are going to write each application. In database, we are not going to do this with the help of DBMS. What is fourth problem? Data integrity. We are not going to impose any restriction with the help of we can add with the help of constraint in database DBMS. Next one, what is atomicity? Partial operation is not allowed. Partial transaction is not allowed. All the transactions are allowed. Next one is what? Indexing. How we are going to achieve this with the help of index. What is the objective of index? Faster search. Next one is what? Data concurrency. Accessing data parallelly. Here in file processing system what it is not possible because the logs will be created file level. But in database it is possible. Concurrency is possible because log will be created on row level. Now next we'll see DBMS. We already discussed DBMS. What is the use of DBMS? DBMS try to understand database management system. It is going to manage the database. If you want to create a database, if you want to delete or do some modification database, if you want to update, if you want to delete something, if you want to do any operation with database, we are going to use which software? DBMS. We are going to use software DBMS. That's why I told, let's say this software DBMS. This is our database. Suppose we are the user, we are present here. User going to send request to DBMS and DBMS interact with the database. What is a mediator? DBMS. We take help of DBMS for getting the data and from the database DBMS. Different types of DBMS are there. Types of DBMS: hierarchical, RDBMS, ORDBMS. Nowadays, which one is more popular? RDBMS. See, all DBMS softwares going to perform same thing, but how they are storing the data, how they processing data, that part will be different. Like in RDBMS, say relational database management system. Here, data will be stored in the form of table. Here, data will be stored in the form of table. Table contain what? Rows and columns. Table contain what? Rows and columns. Let's say name, name, address. First one is heading group, name and address. Next, we will store data. In RDMS, data will be stored in which format? Rows and tabular format. In RDMS, data will be stored in the format tabular format. Other things are not required. We are not going to. In hierarchical database, data will be stored in which format? Different types of databases are used. Most of the people are using RDBMS as a data engineer and as an event database engineer also. Other things are not there. No one is using what they are using, but mostly application developers. And here we are going to learn which one? RDBMS. In RDBMS, data will be stored in which format? RDBMS, tabular format. We have different types of DBMS softwares. Internally, how they differ, different storage. Whatever we are going to teach you here, that is more than enough to work in real-time industry, or that is more than enough to clear the internet. What I are teaching Try to revise it. After that, if you are getting, try to search for new things and practice it. Now, till now, we have discussed how many things? Four things. Now, now in DBMS, what DBMS versus RDBMS. What we are going to start with? SQL. Very, very important. Everyone ready? See here. SQL. As a data engineer, starting point is what? MySQL. What is next one? Python. Nice one. Hadoop. Then Snowflake. Cloud. What is cloud? As your data engineer. Nowadays, Power BI is also added to it. Snowflake SQL is required. When you are going to learn as your data engineer, we are writing code like DLD code, what we are at the time what we required SQL only. PySpark. Here, if you are clear in MySQL, then remaining things will be easy for you. Like writing code in Snowflake, they will very very easy. Snowflake SQL is there, which is very very easy. Now, in our course, we are going to learn which database MySQL. We are going to learn which MySQL. What is the advantage of this one? Biggest advantage is open source. What is the open meaning of open source? Really available. Anyone can access the source code. Source code is open to everyone. MySQL is software. To develop the software, they might use some source code. That code is open to everyone. Then someone can take the code, do some modifications, and they can create their own database. That is not easy. Lot of efforts are required, but that is possible and legal. If you want software is open source, you can download that software, you can modify that software on top of that, and you can produce your own software. That is allowed. For us is not important. Are you going to create another MySQL? No. For us, what is important? That is freeware. We are not paying for paying anything for license or anything. Commodities edition is available. Free means commodity edition will be free. Everyone got it? All database is same as file store and provides all the services. Thank you for attending lecture.